How's it going, everyone? So today is the beginning of something a little bit different than I've been doing up until now. I've been wanting to do a more of a vlogging style screencast as opposed to what I've been doing to give you a bit more behind the scenes as to what I'm working on and what I'm learning, etc. So the project I'm starting right now is a blog for Unicasts. I've been wanting to create a blog for a little while now, and I think now is the time to do it, and I want you guys to be able to follow along as I go through. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up Photoshop and create a new document. I'm going to skip the wireframing process now because I have a pretty good idea of what I want to create. It's just a matter of picking the right colors and all that sort of stuff. I'll just create a new document, new artboard. See, Unicasts already has a few colors I use. This green, this red, and this purple I use throughout the site. So my idea for the blog is basically, I really want to have a card or a block for each blog post. But each one is going to be a different color. So what I want to do today is pretty much just get a rough outline of the blog and what we're going to be doing, but mainly I want to pick the colors that we're going to be using for this design. So let me just create a few blocks. I'm using the Color Snapper app to grab the colors from Unicasts, and let's just change a few of these. Let's grab that green. Let's see what else. That purple for sure. I'm also going to grab this goldish color. And maybe this blue. It's looking like a Windows logo. Definitely don't want to do that. Let me extend the artboard down a bit. All right. So this looks stupid as is, but let's copy this. Maybe make it 3 wide. That's kind of cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to dribbble.com/ I believe it's colors. Yes, this is one of my favorite resources because you can search by hex code or their pre-selected colors, which is so awesome. And you can see what other people are using in terms of color schemes, etc. So let's look. We already got a red and a green, purple. Maybe let's try to get a pinkish color. So I'm just going to browse till I find something I like. This one's pretty good. I'm going to copy this. Whoops. Use Color Snapper, grab that. That may be a bit too bright, but we'll see. Maybe also a teal. Kind of like that color. I'm just going to steal that. No, that's too close to the green, I think. What about an orange instead? That one's not bad. And maybe I just do, what about this lime green? Did I already try that? I think I already tried that. It's not too bad, actually. Ooh, I hate that so much. All right, so what I was thinking is, if we go back to Unicasts, the main font I use is Proxima Nova Soft. So let's just create a sample blog post. So I already got the Proxima Nova soft selected. I'm just going to change the color to white. Let's make it left justified and say this is an example blog post. Let's bump up the size. Maybe do bold instead of Command T, and let's drop the leading a bit. So how I envision this in my head is not quite like this. I was thinking these would be quite a lot bigger. So I'm going to search for Unicast logo. All right, so let's grab the Unicast logo and paste it into Photoshop as a smart object. If we go back to Unicast, only on the home page do you see this type of navigation. Because if you go to the subpages, you'll see the sidebar nav. So, oops, I need to fix that. It's off-centered. So I think I'm going to stick with this type of navigation for the blog. So maybe let's just create that, change the color to match that dark gray. Let's make it left, right justified. And let me say back to, the blog's going to be part of the site, so I wouldn't need to go back to it. Maybe I'll just have a sign in link. That's good for now. Just drop down the size. All right. So I want these to pretty much be fully responsive, take up the entire width. So maybe these need to be something like this. We could do 2 across. And then we could horizontally space the title. Maybe make it a bit bigger. And maybe put the date or something. What is today's date? July 20th, 2015. We could make it the same color, just a little bit darker as the blog post. That might be cool. And let's change this to maybe a medium. That looks good. And let me drop down the size. Can't actually see that, so let's darken it a bit more. Space out the header. All right, I kind of like this. Another blog post. So this would, instead of the gray, would be a dark green. All right, I kind of like this. Let's so it's the same height. Let's just make it full width. And grab that text. Let's copy it down here. This is exactly what I was thinking. So we don't really need anything other than this type of thing on the blog index page. I really just want to provide value through this blog. I don't really care about getting signups or any of that stuff. So I think having the focus on the content itself rather than anything else is priority number one for this blog. So I'm digging this a lot. I wonder, maybe when we jump into the code, we could figure out how to randomly change a color, or maybe just per blog post we could select a color and make sure it's not the same as the previous one. So I'm going to do this down again. Boom. Change the color to that green. Change the subtitle text color. Maybe this one. Ideally, I think I'd like to have like 6 or 8 colors maybe to cycle through. So for Unicasts, if we go to the screencast section, these are color coordinated. So the red is Rails screencast, the purple is design, and the green is front end. I don't think I'm going to do that on the blog. I think everything's just going to be random in terms of color. Okay, I'm liking this. So let's go back to Dribble. I want to pick a few more colors. What if I just did like a light gray? Wonder if that would be weird. Not really liking that. Let's see. So we already have green, lime green, purple, pink, reddish, orangish. Don't really have a yellow. Maybe let's try to grab that. It's not bad. It's a little bright compared to these other desaturated ones, so maybe let's try to drop that down slightly. That's a little bit better. Same with this pink. It's fairly bright. Yeah, I like that better. Cool. What is one last? Do we really? We don't really have a blue. That's more of a purple. Maybe grab this color. That is pretty damn bright as well. Let's throw in some gray to desaturate that. That's perfect. Oops. Okay, and last thing, let's just change the date color on these. Whoops. Yeah, I dig that. Cool. So when I click, or when you hover over it, I would have it darken. So you know you're actually, so you know you're on something clickable. But when you click, I want to have it animate open to the full page. I think something like that would be cool. I don't want to design a pagination because I'm thinking everything, I could do some Ajax and have it auto load. Yeah, I think I'll do that for the time being. So what I'm going to do, whoops, drop the artboard a bit. So this is super simple, but it's 100% focused on the content, which is exactly what I wanted. What I'm going to do now is copy this artboard. Let me change the color to, or the title to blog index and blog single. blog index. All right. Cool. So say I click on this first one. I'm thinking we should carry that color over to this for the header. So let's delete all of this stuff and maybe expand this full width. Let's see, what would it look like if it was centered? Whoa. That's pretty cool. Okay, and I'd still want it vertically centered, of course. Then let's go to hipsum.co and grab some filler text. Hipster Ipsum. All right, I'm just going to grab a few paragraphs. Okay, so that looks terrible by default, mainly because it's like super scrunched and all that. Let's open up the text a lot, let it breathe. I'm not sure it needs to be that big. Maybe it does, actually. Doesn't look too bad. I think the text color, let's go back to Unicasts. The text color I use is this dark bluish gray, so I'm going to stick with that to keep consistency throughout the site. Let's see. I think I want to shorten the width of the column, just because after a certain point it becomes difficult to read when the lines are too long. So what I'm going to do is shrink that up and just have this down the center. And then last thing, let's throw in some. This is a header level 2. All right, and then I'm just going to bump up the size a bit and make it bold. Show the header. That looks good. So one last thing I was thinking when I came up with this idea is I want to have additional blog posts at the end of each post. So for this blog single page, let's extend this down a bit. And I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to copy these from this other artboard and put them over here. Okay, so let me... Okay, there we go. So now everything's on the artboard. Artboard in Photoshop is fantastic, by the way. Cool, so say you read the blog post, you come down. Let's see. Let's extend this down a bit. I kind of like having that as the bottom, as the footer. But I'm thinking about the author or something. I'm not quite sure about this section yet. Yeah, let me delete the rest of that stuff. And maybe put a tag or a line break or something in between here. We may change this when we jump into the actual code. It'd be kind of cool if this matched the post color. I like that. All right, so on the index page, we're going to show each post differentiated by a different color. I like that. Each one's going to be its own card. And the beautiful thing about this design is it's fully dynamic. It will grow and shrink based on the viewport size. So it will look beautiful on mobile and just the same on a large, like 27-inch display. All right, guys, so I think that's all for today. In the next episode, maybe we will cover actually coding this thing, make it responsive, and then go through and do the back end of it as well. But yeah, until next time, I'd love to hear what you guys think of this new format, if you guys want me to keep doing it. And yeah, other than that, I will see you guys next time.